economic engagement, defense engagement, they have been always there. But the fifth pillar that we have added is the cultural dimension. The cultural civilizational diplomacy about which Ambassador Stobden was also talking. You have one prime minister who is ready to wear his culture on his sleeves, who doesn't hesitate to use culture as a tool for our diplomacy. So that is a very important addition that we have made in the last 5 years. Friends, coming to the second term today, in 2020 when we stand, just entering the year 2020, I see that we have covered a lot of ground, but there are a few things that we have to accomplish as strategic goals in the next 5 years or more. Most important thing that I feel is that, since I am not a diplomat, let me be a little crude. India needs to have its own club. As a close watcher of foreign policy, I somehow feel that we are missing this point. Today, the powerful forces in the world are not countries but blocks. India needs to create its own group, its own club. In that direction, I think our foreign policy has to consciously move today. I always believed that leadership is not going to be offered to you by anybody in the world. That is not how diplomacy works as I understand it. Leadership has to be asserted. You cannot expect others to say that you are a leader. You have to accept your leadership. So in that, we need to really look for ways of creating our own India club. We have, no doubt, we have made an effort in that direction. I remember, I think if the first effort to talk about if there is anything, it was the non-aligned movement. When Nehru tried to create a club, in which probably India would have played an important role, which it did. But at one point, we had to abandon it. 62 war was a turning point. We attempted SARC, did not succeed. We today are investing, gradually we have moved on, then we have this BIMSTEC limited. BIMSTEC is there, but you can't claim that we are central to it. From BIMSTEC, we are today moving on to most important thing. I think that is where India has to invest heavily, is the Indian Ocean or probably Indo-Pacific Club. It is here that India should rise as an important leader. Indian Ocean is the most happening region in the world today. You are all senior diplomats. I don't want to talk about it at length. We have to turn our attention to the east. From the westward to the attention to turn to the east. It requires a lot of probably retraining, because the whole training is land-based. It has to be ocean-centric now. You have to deal with islands. You have to deal with small countries. But India has to turn its attention to the east and not just be a partner in it. It has to rise as a leader in the region. Because in the Indian Ocean region, as I see it, India is the only big power. So I think the 2020 onwards, the real challenge should be, how do we make this region central to the global affairs? And I'm very happy here. This I consider as one of the achievements of our government, to shift the discourse from the old Asia-Pacific to Indo-Pacific. It took time, it took efforts. I remember Harry Harris at the Halifax Security Forum 3 years ago, calling it Indo-Asia Pacific. That was the first shift. From there, today, for President Clinton to talk about Indo-Pacific is a shift. Now, from there, we have to take it forward. I think that is where India has to invest heavily. it is in this region that we face challenges also. There was this mention about China. China and India coincidentally live in the same geographical region. We are not like America, which is 6,000 kilometers or miles away. So you can give any threat from there. You cannot be a Trump sitting in India, in Delhi. You have to be different here. So you have to devise ways of dealing with the strong neighbor, because we are competing for same resources. It is same region. Here India needs to demonstrate its real skill in emerging as a leader.